Good morning and welcome to My Left Ear. It is Sunday, January 14th. I'm Carrie Freeman. I'm the writer, producer, director of My Left Ear. I do it all. And I have an outline for you today. This is video 189. So this is a left-leaning YouTube channel. I focus and I try to stay positive and also tell the truth. I focus on left-leaning politics. And I do commentary and psychic commentary because I get messages through my left ear. And I do the runes. So it's a mix and it's fun. At the end, I do, well, today is a little different, but I do a section called Good Evidence, which is part of a book that's coming out. And I offer a quote that usually applies, and people like these quotes a lot. I'm a lover of quotes. So when I'm not here, I call myself a change agent, which is that I help people. I do private sessions through psychic coaching and hypnotherapy and NLP tools and all the things I've trained in for 20 years. So I do private sessions in person and through Zoom. And information about that, all you have to do is email me and I'll send you a one sheet about what I do and what the charges are, okay? I am an author. Many people have ordered my book, The Comics Daughter, and that link is below, thecomicsdaughter.com, and you can order my book. It's extremely entertaining. I know this because I've gotten just hundreds and hundreds of feedback on it. You'll enjoy it. It's funny, and it's dark, and it's honest. Okay, so this is for entertainment purposes only. YouTube likes us to say that. And what I do essentially here is I disseminate latest news and then I add the commentary. I break it down. For some of these things, I do the runes. So I have some runes readings today. So I'm going to do something different this morning. I'm going to start off with a really good evidence story because it happened about 4 days ago, and it's going to seem really, I don't know, it blew my mind. Let me put it that way. The experience blew my mind. And I thought, I can't wait to share this on My Left Ear. And if I didn't say this before, for those of you who are new, this is being called My Left Ear because I get information from this side. It comes in the form of like someone is talking to me, but I'm not crazy and I don't hear actual voices. It's like someone gives me advice, tells me stuff on this side. So it's my left ear. All right. So I'm going to start with this story. Short, it's simple. And one of my clients is going to laugh because she watches the show, of course, that's how she found me, but often laughs about, and I have a lot of stories about the grocery store and being in the store. I don't know why. That's a place that attracts a lot of activity for me. So I went to Ralph's Market, which is a chain. I don't know how much of a chain it is all over, the United States. And in this Ralph's grocery store, there is a Starbucks, really nice. And it's hard to go in there and walk out without a iced latte or hot chocolate or something. So I thought, I'm going to go get a nice latte. So I go and there's no line except one man is before me and he's ordering. So I'm just standing there patiently. I'm always practicing patience. We all have challenges with patience. So I'm just standing there and I look at the man that's ordering and I'm thinking, he really looks like a nice person. I mean, it was like this, my left ear kind of profiling him. And what I want to make clear is it wasn't a man that I was like attracted to. So I wanted, because that could sound like, oh, I saw this man. And no, I just thought, he just looks like a nice person. And then my next thought, while I'm standing there, was, wouldn't it be funny if he offered to buy me a coffee? And within 3 seconds, he turned directly to me and said, I'm paying it forward today. What do you want to drink? Order. And I was completely shocked because it was like I pitched a baseball, a cosmic baseball, and he caught it. And so I want to tell you what I said to him. We made friends. His name was Jim. But the first thing out of my mouth was, "What made you say that? What made you do that?" I was so stunned. And then he said, "I don't know. I just flew into my head and I want to pay it forward. Order a drink. So I ordered the latte. So now we go to the next to wait for our drink. So I said, "I must tell you why I was so shocked a moment ago." I said, "I'm standing there and I had a random thought. Wouldn't it be funny if he offered to buy me a coffee?" And he said, "That's really weird." I said, "I know." He said, "Because it flew into my head. It literally, and before I even thought about it, I just turned to you." And I said, "Well, I'm known to be psychic." And he goes, You really are." And his name was Jim. And pretty sure he was LGBT. I'm pretty good at profiling that. And we did a little fist bump. And I said, "Well, you made my day." And I said, "And I have a YouTube channel where I will share these kinds of stories. So you gave me the best story." So that was some kind of telepathy, but I've been thinking about it a lot because it was effortless. I had the thought and it happened within 3 seconds. Now, when I first started this channel, some people will remember, I talked about loving the group from California, the Beach Boys. I like a lot of Beach Boys songs because I am of a certain age too. But I like "Wouldn't It Be Nice?" So I started, it was kind of like, "Wouldn't it be nice?" So it was a little bit like, "Wouldn't it be nice if he bought me a drink?" And he did. And I'm thinking about telepathy because I had it happen again 2 days later. All right. So this is the second short story. We have a place out here called The Habit. It's like a burger joint and they sell a lot of salads and stuff. It's pretty good, right down the street. So I ordered a salad online, Caesar salad. I was going to add some protein to it. So I went to pick it up and I'm wearing my nighttime glasses, which are prescription. I'm going to put them on for you right now. They're kind of obnoxious, but I get compliments on them. Okay, so these are the glasses. They're big. So I'm wearing the glasses for driving at night and I'm standing there in The Habit. Now I look to my right and I see a young woman. I'm going to say maybe she was 30 and kind of slender, and she was a black girl, and she was wearing a coat that was real soft looking, and it was like a mustard color. It was just the coolest color. And it was a coat that I'd seen in my neighborhood that I'd thought about buying, but then I didn't do it because I didn't want to spend the money. So I'm going, wow, I wished I'd bought that coat. And then I thought, oh, should I tell her? And I went, no, just keep your mouth shut. You're always talking to strangers. Just keep your mouth shut. So I just stood there and the guy gave me extra dressing and she gathered up her stuff and she walked behind me on her way out. And as she walked behind me, she went, "I love your glasses." So I turned around, I said, "Well, I love your coat." And I said, and I was thinking as I was standing there, "I love your coat." And I almost bought one that looked just like it. So she stopped and we had that girly moment and she showed me the tag. And it was very warm and very sweet. We did a fist bump. So it was like she caught my thoughts. So I'm writing notes on this. I'm looking at it and I will share more with you later. All right. Now, a message to one of my Patreon subscribers, Eva, E-V-A. Eva, email me if you're not able to access the handouts, because for those who has not joined Patreon, which is $8 a month, I try to do shows on Patreon where I give attachments, where I want to give people something. So this week, because of the new year, I wanted to do something special, and got a lot of compliments on this past Patreon. people are able to print out the attachments. But Eva, if you can't, contact me and I'll send them to you directly. Okay. Now, one last piece of business. I got a message from a viewer or a subscriber. I don't test people like, are you subscribing? But she really wanted me to hold up every rune, always. And early on, I realized it makes the show much longer, okay? And I have decided not to do it. And I'm so sorry to disappoint you, because I used to. But however, when I started Patreon, I did like 25 shows on the runes. Each week there was a rune, there was a printout, there was a discussion, there was an explanation. And that is available. So if you join Patreon, which you can quit at any time, you can go back and you can look at all the runes, you can print them out. It's almost like having your own notebook. So I apologize that I'm not able to accommodate you. It just takes too long. And then when the videos are too long, they take forever to upload. All right, so here we begin. Now we're going to begin. So there's a gentleman highly successful Democrat. His name is Simon Rosenberg, and he is the president and founder of the progressive think tank called NDN. He's a veteran of the 1992 Clinton War Room, and he's a leading political thinker. I love this guy. He's like full of great information. Well, let me tell you, he posted this week, and this is going to make you happy. It made me happy. Biden's polling this week was 45% up from 41%. That was in Michigan. In New Hampshire, he was 42% up from 34% in New Hampshire. And then in Pennsylvania, he was at 49%, and that was up from 46% nationally. So Biden's leads in these three important states are larger than in the 2020 win margin. Such good news. There's movement, and I thought there would be movement, and I think I told you this, that people were complaining or criticizing that he wasn't being strong enough. And I said, wait till 2024 hits. He's going to come out of the gate. And, I think I said that last week, and he has. And he got a lot of support for this speech he made. All right. So here's something that matters to me a great deal, and I'm going to guess it's going to matter to you, or does matter to you. Biden is feeding children. It was news this week. Well, while he's doing that, 15 Republican-led states have declined to participate in a new federal program from the Biden administration aimed at combating food insecurity among low-income families. And especially when they're not in school over the summer, they may not be getting lunches, and some schools aren't even offering lunches anymore, which to me is a tragedy. Kids can't learn, they can't pay attention unless they have nutrition and protein. So under the Summer Electronic Benefit Transfer Program, that's a mouthful, set to launch this year, it provides $120 per eligible child to families in the U.S. to help cover some food costs. It's millions. They're spending millions and millions of dollars. So $125 sounds like nothing, but they're spending millions to help food insecure families, children. So I find this extremely criminal, that the party that wants women to just produce kids, no abortion rights, die if you have a tubal ligation, die if you have a complication, because we care so much about babies, and they're not feeding them. They have no interest. It's so maddening. And one more thing about the GOP. They have no proposal for immigration. They have nothing, but they're criticizing like crazy. And it is a problem. You know, I'm not disputing that at all. That has to get addressed. And this past week, a woman and 2 children drowned to death in the Rio Grande, I guess it's river, on their way to Texas. And Greg Abbott, one of the most evil people in the United States, one of the most messed up people in the United States, prevented, I'm not sure which faction came in to save them. He would not allow this woman and 2 children to be saved, and they drowned and they died. So a lot of people on Twitter, and including me, are saying, and I'm copying the FBI, this guy murdered these people. He prevented them from being saved from drowning. So I'm just sorry to be this is so ugly, but I need you to know that if you hadn't read about it. All right, so the next big story I'm going to talk about is Fani Willis in Georgia. It's going to be shocking. She's being investigated. Now, I feel that the Trump mafia is very busy right now, and they're trying to dig up dirt, and they're trying to impede all these proceedings. So I think this is coming from the Trump mafia to try to bring down Fani Willis, because that's a very you can't give or receive pardons in Georgia, I think. And if you can, people still have to spend time in prison. So there was a attorney named Nathan Wade in Georgia who was appointed lead prosecutor in this Georgia election interference case in 21, in order to help be part of the team to prosecute former President Donald Trump and his closest allies. And people wonder, why this Nathan Wade? I knew nothing about him. I had to look this up. So Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis has the largest staff of any judicial circuit in Georgia. Wade had once been a prosecutor, not for a long time, meaning his work as a prosecutor didn't last a long time. He mostly handled misdemeanors, and now he's been assigned. So more than 2 years later, questions are surfacing, and I think this is the Trump mafia, about Wade's role. And one of Trump's co-defendants facing criminal charges filed court papers, that Wade, this gentleman, is romantically involved with Willis and used money he billed the district attorney's office for his work on the case to take her on vacations. Now, that's a really big story. I can't call it a lie because we don't know the truth yet. I don't know the truth yet. None of us do. But it's definitely, something that just is like a wrench thrown into the machinery. It's like, whoa. All right. The filing did not include any direct evidence of their romantic involvement. But Willis was served this week with a subpoena to appear at a deposition in Wade's divorce proceedings. So a spokesperson for Willis announced that the office will respond to the allegations through appropriate court filings. I'm going to repeat that because I did runes on this. Spokesperson for Willis, that the office will respond to the allegations through appropriate court filings. I like this, and I'll tell you why later. Trump and his co-defendants are claiming that Wade, Willis, and the entire district attorney's office should be taken off the case. The allegations, if true, may not derail the prosecution, by the way, but multiple lawyers say that the appearance of a conflict of interest could hurt Willis's chance of securing a conviction before a jury. I don't think so, because I think the facts are so strong and the testimony. All right. So the judge overseeing the case said on Friday that he planned to hold a hearing on the allegations in early February. And the former DeKalb County District Attorney, Robert James, does not question Wade's qualifications to do this work on the Trump trial, the Georgia case, but does have concerns with Willis's decision to bring him onto the case, should that be true. If the allegations of an improper relationship hold up. So this is a wait and see, but I did the runes, okay? So let's see. So what I asked the runes, is Fani Willis in trouble? I just thought that was an easy way to like cut to the chase. And the first rune I got was the rune of wholeness. So the rune of wholeness is about that which our nature requires. We all require wholeness. It involves the impulse towards self-realization. It speaks of basking in the glory of the sun's rays, which is very positive. It says through wholeness, a new, stronger, more solid, and higher foundation is created, which really bodes a good outcome for Fani. It is a rune of great power, making life force available to you. And I wrote support available to her. It speaks of letting light into part of your life, which would be the truth. It is like the harvest from the field stored and ready to carry through the dark winter's night. So it suggests let right action flow through you because it is about achievement and celebration. Sounds pretty good. Now, in some instances, the rune of wholeness says you may see fit to withdraw or retreat in the face of a pressing situation. And this is what I think is, this will, when she said, or her spokesman said, this will be addressed in not a public meeting, but what did I say? In court filings, okay? So she's not going to talk. They're not going to get up and talk and defend themselves. And then it says, you may want to retreat if people or events are demanding that you expend energy right now. So such a retreat is a retreat in strength. Such a retreat is a retreat in strength. I think the fact that she's not exhibiting panic and it's telling the truth. She got subpoenaed. She's going to appear at his divorce proceedings. My understanding is that they're old friends. I don't know. And I want to be very clear about that. I think what I do feel through my left ear is that this could delay a little bit, but she's going to stay on track. Okay, that's what I think. So it's a pressing situation because people and or events, the Trump mafia, are demanding that she expend energy right now. So such a retreat is a retreat in strength, as I told you, and my screen just blew up, so I got to fix it. And I think this is smart. There's no panic. Let the fever lower because she is gathering wholeness. All right. Then came up with the rune of separation in the reversed position. Separation in the reversed position. And it advises this is not the time to be bound by old conditioning or old authority. My feeling is that she needs to just face this in a very, in a place from great honesty and being, there's a word, transparent. Thank you. Someone sent me transparent. But Consider not only what will benefit you, Fani, but what will benefit others according to the light you possess. So total honesty is required. She may have to undertake a radical departure from old ways. This is probably the first time she's ever been challenged in such a personal way. Thank you, Mafia. Adaptability and skillful means are the methods here. She's totally capable of that. And it says, be still, wait for the universe to act. All right, finally, the last one on this Fani Willis situation, defense. As defense, I'm repeating that. As we are tested, we fund the power to avert blockage and defeat. Defense tells you that even an obstacle in her path may prove beneficial. It may prove beneficial. Do not be overly eager to press forward, which is, we're going to address this in court filings. We're not going to panic and not call a press conference. Smart. Patience is counsel here. No acting needy or desperate, and she's not. They are not. The rune speaks to the difficulties that can arise at the beginning of a new life, but it's a new trial, and it's the first trial of its kind, okay? It's a RICO trial. It's big, it's testy. So this may offer a time of waiting for the spring to fill up with water. Avert anticipated difficulties through right action, Fani. And it also speaks of her being able to capitalize on what she has developed so far, which is very strong, very powerful. So this is about preparation for the future. And it does say, this is positive, through inconvenience and some discomfort, growth is promoted. So this may be some somersaults that she has to go through in Mr. Wade, but growth is promoted. So I wanted everybody to be aware of it if you hadn't already. Then I asked the runes something different now. We're on to something different because somebody very smart, and I can't remember who it was last week, said that the progress in our economy right now, thank you, President Biden, is unparalleled and continues to flourish. Unparalleled. So we got, it's going to sound bad, but it's not. We got separation in the reversed position. So this is not a time to be bound by old conditioning or old authority. We're in new territory. This is unparalleled. Consider not only what will benefit you, but will benefit others according to the light you possess. Total honesty, we're back to this, is required. And adaptability and skillful means. So we got that rune again, separation reversed. But we still have to wait for the universe to act. Now, I think what's possible is that the economy could dip a little bit and will still be in good, because if you're in unparalleled territory, coming down a little bit, it's still very good, very good, all right? Then we got partnership, which is totally positive, 100% positive. And partnership is like a big X, okay? That's what it looks like. And it represents a gift. It has no reverse, indicates that a partnership in some form is at hand. And you are put on notice not to collapse yourself. So we shouldn't get too cocky about this, our unparalleled, financial situation, the improvement. So it says, don't collapse, don't get cocky. True partnership is achieved by separate and whole beings who retain their separateness, even as they unite. So we can be happy about it, we try to maintain it, but we don't get overly invested and especially cocky, all right? This has to do with partnership with the divine. There's a greater union going on here. The divine, this is taking nothing away from Joe Biden's zillion years of experience and smarts and common sense, but the divine may have stepped in to help him. Because we know presidents largely get elected through a great economy, all right? So this partnership indicates a period of increased activity and the potential of new contracts. It's always positive. How to use it is up to us. And I had said that before. It is a gift of freedom. Now, here's something interesting that came. The third, but I did a clarification. I got disruption, which is a little bit like the tower in the tarot. Disruption. So disruption comes with change, freedom, and invention. They're all aspects. It's a shakeup. So it says break free from constricting identification, which I think, I want to interpret as be a little distant from this fabulous economy. Keep going back to don't be too cocky. It can go up and can go down. It can go up. It's really good right now, and it makes Biden, harder to beat. Let me just put it that way. So it's called the Great Awakener. It may take many forms. And it says it could be so powerful that it rips away the fabric of what we previously knew. Now, here's the thing. The economy may even get better. Isn't that crazy? This is what I'm reading into this. It may even get better. So in one fatal swoop, disruption can do that. So things may be tested. It can be a rune of delay. And even that may not be a terrible thing. So this is important at times to recognize that one does have limitations. But this is not a bad rune to pull. Disruption is not a bad rune. And then I wanted a clarifier on this, and I got protection, that the economy is protected, okay? And we just need to control our emotions here during times of transition and change. Meditation is good. So new opportunities and challenges are typical of protection. So I'm running out of a little bit of time. So protection, it's funny, I hadn't read this, but I said it a minute ago. Excellent rune to contemplate for meditation purposes. I hadn't seen that. So we got that twice. Meditation is good. Consider it. It can help achieve a state of enlightenment for us as we go through all these changes. And the final sentence is, you will progress. We will progress. All right. Now, in terms of a government shutdown, once again, I don't think so. They're putting it off till March, which is stupid, but at least it won't be shut down on the 19th of January, which is about a week away. So Chuck Schumer said on the Senate floor, referring to the first of two deadlines to extend government funding, this shutdown. And he said, unfortunately, it has become crystal clear that it will take more than a week to finish the appropriations process, hence March. Now, Johnson is being somewhat cooperative, the speaker that I hate, and the caucuses and the MAGAs in Congress are very unhappy with him right now. They want the shutdown. A lot of them do. No matter who it will hurt. It's like the governors who don't want to take money for feeding children. It's a little bit like that. So some federal departments are funded through January 19th, while funding for others expires on February 2nd. Not good. Schumer said members should be prepared to take the first vote on the short-term measure this Tuesday. All right? This is what's going on. I think it's going to be a last-minute save like it was. And then they're going to go through it again. And there's a lot of talk on the GOP side of getting rid of, pastor, speaker, pervert Johnson. All right. Now, I asked the runes. I got one rune, which I'm glad because we're running out of time. And I got the rune of fertility. It's really good. It's about new beginnings, fertility. What can be bad about fertility? So it has to do with harmonizing. It embodies the need for sharing. It marks a time of deliverance. It says you now have the strength to achieve completion or resolution. So all of that is the outcome of this clashing in the House and the Senate to not shut the government down. Fertility was the clarifier. And fertility, I never knew where this came, but I love the phrase, life finds a way. So it is from fertility, and I'm using that a lot. Await your deliverance with calm certainty. Some very fast news about Nevada. Trump is off the Nevada primary ballot because his team forgot to do the paperwork. So Nevada, the people in Nevada will not be able to vote for Donald Trump. People are blaming this on Alina Habba. But what a weak team he has. That they just keep messing up. I'm looking at my notes here. And then in Nevada, a judge dismissed the Nevada 14th Amendment to claim to remove Trump from the ballot. It's just odd what's happening in Nevada. That's all I can say. And my left ear wants you to know that more GOP Congress will resign. Expect more. You know, eventually Hakeem Jeffries is going to become speaker. It's very clear to kind of everybody right now. All right, so Hunter Biden, I worked in addiction for 8 years. My brother was a terrible addict, heavy duty addict. So I have compassion, empathy for Hunter Biden. So he showed up at Congress and was highly abused, terribly abused. They said horrible, nasty things to him because he won't testify behind closed doors. He wants it public, and they don't like that. So the GOP refused to ask him. He was there for questions, but they refused to ask him questions. Nancy Mace, I didn't write down where she's from. She's on the younger side. She said to him on camera, "You have no balls." And then at the end of it, Marjorie Taylor Greene was ready to show pictures of his junk. And Rep. Raskin kind of blunted her. Ugly, 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 ugly. And then one of my favorite Democratic Congress people is Rep. Jared Moskowitz. And Moskowitz brought out a giant poster. You know how big posters are? On the floor of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. And evidently, the House went crazy. Put that away. That has nothing to do with what we're doing here. And he's got a lot of moxie, Jared Moskowitz, and he's funny on top of it. I'm gonna put a link in the community section of Dr. Bandy Lee, psychiatrist, who is talking with the Midas Touch weekend edition about shared psychosis and the psychology of Donald Trump. She is fascinating. It is fascinating, and you will learn a lot. So there's a link to the interview in the community section in a few minutes after I upload this. Please watch it. I think you'll be highly educated and fascinated about how this happens. And the thing that I got out of it is this something called shared psychosis. So it's not maybe a stretch that thoughts are transmitted, just like I had that happen at the front, but those were very positive experiences. Thoughts are transmitted. Toxic thoughts are transmitted. All right, so we've come to the end. I've gone over. I hope it doesn't take 9 hours to upload. And here's the quote. The quote is from Rainer Maria Rilke, an Austrian poet and novelist who was born in 1875 and died in 1926. And he wrote, "And now we welcome the new year, full of things that have never been." It's really lovely. And now we welcome the new year, full of things that have never been. So one of the things that has never been is the conviction of an ex-president in federal court. That's one of the things. All right, my friends, wish me luck in the upload, but we'll get this out to you no matter when, what time, and I will see you very soon. Let's see what this week brings. Should be more interesting stuff. And I want to say, have a great Sunday. Make peace, make good memories, and make good memories, she said. And see if you can't transmit some positive thoughts. Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.